How y'all doing? I am on time. How's everything going? All good? Armand, BJ doing? How y'all doing? Michelle, Torontina, thank you. Yeah, it's funny I'll say like right on time because I'm really working on punctuality. Blue River, I like Mitchburg. No, early is good. Early is good. Right now, where I am, it's 2:27 a.m. and you're from Holland. Oh, who is it? You live in Holland? Hey Noah, how you doing? And thank you. It just when it asked me to put the title in, I was like, oh, this one sounds good. Amy, what's up? All right, let's talk about this. So I did a live stream. Oh, by the way, I'm in Sardinia. I'm in Quartu, Sardinia right now. I just got here. We just got here like a day ago. Yeah, yes, we got here yesterday. But it's hot. It's disrespectfully hot up here. Like I'm like 2 shades darker because I decided to go walk the dog without sunblock. And that was stupid because last year when I came here, I got sunburnt. And that's how hot it is. How bright the sun is different. Like Tunisia's like across the street. But let's all right, let's get to it. So I did a live stream talking about what Carl Steinbeck was talking about. Um, the one where he talked about Katie McBanaway getting a vacated sentence, and I took his word for it because like I really thought of him as a just a very he's a straight shooter. That's what I thought. And um he did another live stream in which he walked a lot of things back. And I probably wouldn't say anything about it if I didn't use him as my source for the things I was thinking up as far as um, what that event was on March 3rd, because some creators received cease and desist letters from that on March 3rd. So it's like, if Wendy never sent out cease and desist letters, why would she do that now? So that's where I thought we're all that connected. But the vacated sentence and stuff like that, for me to hear that, it sounds like a stretch. Like that stuff just doesn't happen. People don't get vacated sentences all like that. Like you hear like the president pardoning people and vacating sentences. That's the only time you really hear about that. Or if they're been found innocent and they get exonerated. But vacating a sentence, especially when this person is already not gone with the program where she tells on everyone that she knows is involved, and she would walk free. They gave her 2 opportunities for that. And the third one, they spanked her and she got put away. And the way that he explained it, it sounded believable, even though like I know that people just don't get vacated sentences. Like it just doesn't happen. Um, because why would they bring a jury in and do all those things when they can just talk after a few years and just let them out? If I were on a jury and had to sit there all day for 3 weeks and go over evidence and miss out on working a legitimate job, or you make money and you're probably getting crumbs doing jury duty, all that stuff. Um, that's why vacated sentences don't really make sense. But hear it from him, it did make sense. And I didn't think that he would just be coming out the blue with that stuff. Now when he did a live stream after that, he backpedaled. He walked a lot. He moonwalked. He moonwalked on a lot of stuff. And since I did that last live stream, I watched both of his live streams over and over and over and over again, because that's the type of stuff I do. When stuff gets on my nerves, I figure out why it is why it is the way it is. So there's something else that I wanted to bring up. Is I should have wrote this shit down, but oh, that conference that happened on March 3rd. Like, so I paid that $35 for that, and I watched it. Didn't seem to be anything groundbreaking from there, from those people. And it just seemed like a big airball. So when I watched it, I noticed that like the stuff that Carl was saying, even though he has that monotone, he's it was just so much gas with it. He made it seem as though that there would be like a domino effect for if Katie rolled on Charlie and was rewarded for it, and Louise rolled on everybody and he was rewarded for it. So that would entice Charlie to go and tell everybody so we can get Wendy. So he's gonna talk because Katie got out of jail. I don't know why my common sense didn't just kick in and just say, no, they don't let people out of jail so someone else who's in jail will talk. Because you have to go to a judge and get that approved anyway. So there are a bunch of things. Let me go to my notes. And I don't even take notes, but there was just too much moonwalking on this live stream. In addition to the moonwalking, and this isn't even, I wasn't even trying to be just up here to talk about other people, but I took your information and I used it to express my own ideas. And if you're moonwalking, I have to say something, you know, because I don't get involved in the like YouTube creator beef shit, because it doesn't do it for me. I think it's stupid because we're all here for whatever reason, but I'm pretty sure if you had a problem, you probably wouldn't really say it to my face the way you say it behind the screen. But if I'm saying it, I would gladly say it to your face. So that's my point. If I'm not going to say anything that I feel like if I walk past this person and they ask me a question that I wouldn't answer it in the same tone as I'm giving it to you now. So let's go over these moonwalking events. All right. So that first live stream, which says on the thumbnail, Katie to be released, the one where he talks about like some weird domino effect if this person tells and that person will, we've got Carl talking about he has a very reliable source, and that's something that I took literally. But as we'll go a little bit, I have a feeling about that reliable source. Um, he says he looked at a very reliable. He heard something from a very reliable source that Georgia Cappleman told a room of lawyers that the state was planning on vacating Katie McBano's sentence and her conviction. He's and what he said, he says, sounds like it's gonna be a done deal. Lawyers don't really talk like that, and I've never had a lawyer just tell me something's just gonna be a done deal. They leave it open for something crazy coming from over there, and the outcome be different. Like if I were a lawyer and I heard something from someone who heard something from someone who heard something from someone else who's directly involved in this case, I wouldn't say something's a done deal. At the very least, I would really look into trying to find the primary source of information to confirm. But I've never heard a lawyer say to me directly on anything that I've ever, you know, dealt with that, oh, it's a done deal. Like, oh, this is gonna happen just like this. Nah. They say what should happen. Or what you can, you know, what you can safely which you not directly bank on, but what's the likelihood of certain outcomes, but saying it's a done deal when you don't when you yourself in your live stream don't even say what you did to confirm that information. And that's something I should have caught. Because if you heard something that some information that's that juicy, you're gonna be like, I need to hear this from the source before I go up on YouTube and say done deal. Now, so the part about clarifying the nature of the information that he got from the trustworthy source. Um, oh, before I get to that part, there's the done deal. So he goes from saying it's a done deal And then in his live stream after that, he moonwalks and says, the release is not now or not yet or a couple years down the road. That's moonwalking. Exactly. That part. That part. Yep. I remember that. He did say that. I remember the mission accomplished banner, and I think that most people here know what that is. Um, let's see who, and then he says he presented this as a tip about something currently going down in Tallahassee. Lawyers don't talk about that. Talk like that. Something's going down. Is sorry. Something's going down in Tallahassee, and then the moonwalk. He claims to be fed information secondhand, and then this is where he says that this is was what the actual event was, where this information came from, and he called it a bar luncheon. The first, I think the first live stream you said it was something along those lines, but it didn't he didn't say what it was, and I think he had to moonwalk because everyone found out what that event was, and not only found out, but that this wasn't some secret lunch where people are having to brainstorm some ideas on Katie McBanwa and Jason Newland. And it had this vibe of it was being like it was some like secret meeting or something. And it's like damn near classified information. And in between, I think in between those live streams, actually, this part should be like um, a lesson in personal branding. Don't have the same name as another YouTube channel. So if you're once known as mentor lawyer and someone else is a mentor lawyer and y'all both show up as the next video, I'm going to think it's the same person. And then also, if you use the same AI to make your thumbnails, I'm thinking it's the same person until I hear your voice. And I'm like, oh, that's that mentor lawyer. But yeah, you're going to get that work too. So I heard, I was watching your video where you were talking about, I'd play it right now, but I know you'd copyright strike me. And I'm not like, worried about that, but I don't like using my creativity toward like, people that, you know, so it was like you framed it as it was an event for lawyers by lawyers, and it wasn't meant to get out to the public. It was something along those lines. I almost want to play it, and then fuck it. Let's go. Let's go over here. But yeah, see, if you were someone else and your videos didn't show up as the, looking like just visually, the thumbnails looking like another YouTuber, and you have the same had the I don't know who did or had the same name and forgot to or wanted to go back to something else. Um, that's parts on you. So when I saw that, it seemed like you were addressing Carl Steinbeck and um, like rectifying a or trying to clarify something that he said, kind of like what I'm doing. But the thing is that I used the information that I took the information as fact as from what he said, and that's why I'm talking about it. But since you came up in the midst of me looking at this information and comparing notes, comparing version 1 versus version 2 of 2 different live streams by someone that had the same name as you, this is should have thought, man, go by your actual name or something. Let me go find this, because I mean, you shouldn't copyright strike me because I was told that you might do it. But you used AI to do the whole narration. So where is this video at? It's a little couple minutes long. But where is this at? I'm going back too far. Oh, he might have put it over in like members only or something like that. That was smart. But yeah, like you characterize the event like it was something kind of like the way Carl did it. Like it was for attorneys by attorneys and only attorneys. Like, so you make it seem like, oh, you had to have a bar number to get to see this event. No, you needed a card number to see that event. That's all you needed. And $35 is for continuing education to get some extra credits. Motherfucker, I'm not going to do any credits. I don't do school. I have $35. Come on, bro. Damn, I wish I had that, because I would play it right now, because it was laughable. Let's go back to Carl. I'm gonna leave you alone. So then he talks about Kappelman possibly making a joke, kind of like what she did with Dan Markel's divorce attorney, saying that, Wendy was arrested and it will be, that they arrested her. And then he said she was joking. But it just didn't land the same way, the way he said it. So let me go back over here. So you said that Kappelman might be joking again, in saying that because he said that when she made the joke to Dan Markel's divorce attorney about Wendy being arrested, that she could be joking about Katie's sentence being vacated. This is another thing that I wish I caught, or because it's like, if you felt that way, why didn't you try to find the primary source of information? No shit. You could just use your credentials and send her an email and say, look, I heard this or something like it. Can you verify this for me? But nah, you didn't do that. So he claims that. Then at some point say, um, at the next live stream that Kappelman's comments were more tentative and saying that she felt compelled to use Katie to testify, but that would ultimately become of her. Mm. And more on the head scratcher, a shocker, a form of hearsay, but before saying this source, this is a quote. This source had never had this source tell me anything that was not correct. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but between both of those live streams, there's so much of walking back with this trustworthy source that has, that you trust so much, but you don't say anything about confronting that source for the sauce that you got. And it makes me think that that trustworthy source doesn't exist. Because if I was fed some BS from someone that I trusted, someone's word that I trusted, who has connections to those people, I would be pissed. Right? But you're not mad at that source. You just walk back everything that the source said and then give a little bit more truth to what the actual event was because people found out. It doesn't sound so secret, salacious, like this secret huddle of attorneys and investigators, like, oh, we got to let her out so we can get Charlie to snitch on his sister, get vacate the sentence. Why would they have it in a conference setting at a country club with I saw that I don't even think there was a whole lot of people there. And I don't think that event was really anything of substance. And I think that that event was to for I this is what I actually think is that there hasn't been anything going on. And just like with the bump with Donna, I mean, I don't understand why people think that they wouldn't do something like that again to someone else to get them to do something different. So if the investigators know that Wendy doesn't really talk with her family, the only person she talks to is George, her kids, and her attorney. They can't really get involved in what about her her communications with her attorney, but they can look at how she reacts to people talking about her because the lawyer does that for her. And that in planning an event like that to where her lawyer would get her lawyer's attention saying, oh, on March 3rd, we're gonna have a catered lunch and we're gonna go to a country club and all these attorneys are just gonna, you know, they're gonna pay $35 to get some credits. And that's for the lawyer to react to. That's for Wendy, the lawyer, to react to. It's not for the public to react to. But the public later on found out about this, and YouTubers did content on it. But before they did content on it, her lawyer sent out letters to land on the day of that event to prevent certain ones from talking about her. And then on that day, Georgia Cappleman doesn't say really much of anything, but her lawyer sent some very strongly worded, but nothing specific that they want you to cease and desist. It's just it just ends up effectively being don't talk about Wendy. That's all it was. And since these different creators talk about the same person in different ways, they essentially got the same letter that says just don't talk about Wendy. And if Georgia Cappleman were to say something that was going to be different or useful and potentially solid content for a whole lot of people on YouTube, she would want to stop that. Wendy would want to stop that. John Laurel would want to stop that if they can, right? I mean, why would you go to FedEx on February 27th, that day, and then pay for the specific service in which that envelope will land on March 3rd? That's what they did, because I looked at the group of envelopes and their tracking number to figure out when it was sent. One second. So what else was I going with? Like, I think something's got to happen, because Georgia's if nothing was going to happen, why would Georgia even do an event like that? She's got other cases that she's working on, right? She's got other things that she's working on, and I'm pretty sure Jason Newland has other things that he's working on. Why would they do that? That and you can't tell me that those people that attended that conference didn't have a type of, like, I don't know, rules of engagement or something. Like, don't ask me any crazy questions about Wendy, because we all have the same questions, whether you got a bar number license or you sit on YouTube and you argue with your friends and annoy people that are close to you and talk about Wendy Adelson. Why would they take up time of their day? And I mean, I know they didn't pay for it, but they looked like they were eating good. Yo, side note, Italian Fanta is amazing. There's no weird ingredients on anything that you eat here. There's no ingredients that have like 6 syllables. It's just what it is. No weird stuff. Especially in Sardinia, everything grows here. Everything is perfect. I'd live here in a heartbeat. But anyway, let's go. Let me go over to some comments, because I went on, you know. I'm only gonna be on for like maybe a half hour, 45 minutes more, because I have to get to sleep, because it is 3 a.m. over here. And I'm a night owl, but this is, I have to get on Italian time. Let's see. I think I was watching Patty's live stream, and someone said, I watched Grish's live stream on replay at 1.5 times the playback speed, because I guess I talk slow, or I thought that was funny. But at least I'm not talking a mile a minute and giving you some BS. I'm actually coming with something of substance. But it's all good though. I might like just pay a cute girl to read what I want to say instead. How about that? Let's see if there's any like questions or any good comments up here. Are you suggesting a decade? Are you suggesting a decades-long experienced prosecutor doesn't understand the variable aspects of possibilities within the DA's office? No. I am suggesting that a decades-long experienced prosecutor doesn't consider the source and try to get a primary source of information to make sure he's not misleading people. Unless it's Rashbaum, then he promises the moon and stars have it. Rashbaum is a federal conspiracy, white collar crime type of lawyer. He's not a violent felony lawyer. That's what they wanted to go with. If I was on trial for murder, I would get a murder attorney, not a white collar crime attorney. I would get, if I was a white collar criminal, I'd get a white collar criminal defense attorney who was once a prosecutor because they know what's up. You see what I'm saying? If Wendy goes free, I know Donna and Charlie are going to be mad they didn't get Laurel as their Laurel. All right, let me explain something. Laurel, in my opinion, is priced too high for Wendy. Laurel is kind of the type of attorney that if you go to trial, you gotta have a serious name, like Donald J. Trump, who hired John Laurel for a case. I think John Laurel is taking Wendy's money, but Wendy doesn't have that kind of money to go all along through a trial. He's kind of like a not he just like he just protects her from prosecutors, investigators, and things like that, and sends out letters to YouTubers. A lawyer like that really would you got to have a serious case that would be like worth his time because he's too far up there, and it works for certain things. Like I used um an attorney that was expensive, but I never was charged with anything. So, I mean, it's also good that only like one person like ran their mouth, but out of a lot of people, and when you have a good lawyer that can like defend you, it works. And then, but if you were to get, if I were to have gotten like arrested and charged and wanted to take it to trial, I'd have to get someone that was within with that, you know what I mean, like that was within my price range, where you can actually afford to pay them. You don't want that. Um, let's see here. I think he threw the The, the title threw me off. Katie McMahon wants to be released. Yeah, I agree. The thumbnail is definitely to be released. That's what it says. You see something like that, you clicking in like 0.00458 seconds, which I did. Well, Tim's speculation haven't been on point. If you Tim, who's Tim? I should Tim who? Can y'all let me know that who that is? I feel like I should know who that. Tim Jansen? Is that who you're talking about? I don't know. I don't if that's who you're talking about. I don't take anything he says seriously. Thank you, Destination. I appreciate it. I really do because I say some left field shit, but it for the most part lands. So um I agree. It's definitely unjust. And I think that it's not just unjust. If say for example, like the stuff that I've said about what I feel Wendy's involvement was, the things that I've used to come up with any theory is really on your screen as I'm talking about it, because I'm not the type of person that can just like tell you a bunch of information without showing you what I'm referencing. Like a lot of people can do that. Like Carl Steinbeck can do that. He can tell you a whole bunch of information and you can absorb it without him giving you like visual references and things like that. I can't do that because I think in images. I don't think in words. So when I have something in my head, I have to show it to you for me to explain it to for me to effectively explain it, should I say. Um, so, but I feeling, but look around, they lost everything they knew. This is why it's such a shame they don't have a close relationship with the Markells. They're still fighting for more time with them. Yeah. Let's see. Y'all can't be complimenting me like that. Thank you. No, I'm not in London. I'm in Quartu, Sardinia, Italy. And there, no one speaks English here. No one. Which is I kind of like that. Like, America hasn't really, like, invaded this place yet. Like, there's certain places like Venice and um, Florence that you hear a lot of American accents walking around. But, like, being over here, it's like, it's completely different. Like I can understand some because I understand Spanish, but some of the things that they say are exact words in Spanish, but they mean something completely different. So I was with my brother-in-law today, and it was he's from here, so and he's in the army. He speaks not just a standard Italian. He speaks Sardo, which is their dialect, and something else. It's something else. But I mean, after a little bit, like I can string some sentences together. Oh, um, the Ray Rivera documentary, I had finished it. I tried to upload it and it got blocked by Netflix because I used a lot of the Unsolved Mysteries episode. It wasn't I wasn't using it to copy it. It's just that there's a lot of things that are of evidentiary value in the Unsolved Mysteries episode that I don't know how or why it got past the production of Unsolved Mysteries. Them especially, not so much the audience, because people watch things, but they don't, I think, observe what's on this, like really observe what's on the screen. They'll listen to what someone says. They'll look at if they have reenactments, they look at the reenactments. But there's some things that actually happened back in 2006 that these people filmed themselves, and it was confusing for me to see that. And then they say that a news station filmed these certain segments, and I knew they weren't filmed by that certain news outlet. So it begs the question: why did y'all film yourselves at that time the way that you did? And there are some things that I saw just because I'm from the area and I'm from Howard County, Maryland, but which is 12 minutes outside Baltimore City. So I've been through Baltimore plenty of times. I used to live in Baltimore County, and I saw things on there, and I know where these people are when they're doing whatever they're doing, and their timeline doesn't make sense because they were doing certain things or saying they were doing certain things at certain hours, but it can't happen if the sun is over there. You know, the sun doesn't lie. And that's one thing that I just noticed immediately when they said they were doing certain things. I'm looking, I know exactly where they are, I know exactly where they're facing. And I know in mid May where the sun is shining in Baltimore, and I know that it's not at that angle. And it messed the whole timeline up. And then how I ended up having to make this damn documentary. But I say that to say this, like I've had to redo a bunch of things, and I've been uploading it in a way to see what the YouTube like content creation thing, whatever catches. But I have to at least be able to show you certain things. I'm not trying to copy it, but that's the main holdup. And with that, I have to rewrite stuff. And I also found some really, 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 really helpful evidence that I've been looking for since I started this. I needed something to verify that something happened within the Baltimore City government a certain way on a certain day, because all the surrounding things that I know, like all the other context, pointed to a certain type of problem happening on a certain day in mid-May, and I found it on Wayback Machine. And I found I subscribed to newspapers.com, and I got the actual newspaper with the one little column. And I was like, oh, yeah, because for a lot of that documentary, like I build the evidence in a sense that, like, kind of how like a lawyer would, in terms of not just showing you like key pieces of evidence I'm hoping you get it, but like they tell the story and they introduce more information and then come back to information previously that has a greater contextual and evidentiary value, and they compound all that information. And I do that for a 3-hour documentary. So, like if you really think about it, if Netflix does a documentary in 3 episodes of an hour, how much time does it take them to do it? Pretty long time. And if you look at the credits at the end of a documentary, and they go on forever and ever and ever and ever, and then you see the documentaries that are unsolved mysteries, they roll the credits. There are hundreds of names. It's just me doing the sound. I'm producing the music. I'm doing everything. I'm getting all the documents, things that 100 people will do. They're it's just me by myself. So I don't mean for it to take long, but I don't have anything, with me on that. Anybody with me helping me. But I'm I'm not like I'm like sitting every day, and I try to take like an hour every day to just work on as much as I can in that hour, because if I keep looking at the same things over and over again, it just doesn't work that way for me. But when it's done, it'll be done, and I tell you this, like this is like the most definitive project I've uh, uh, of any type of creative venture I've ever done, ever. And I'm not like, in certain spaces, I'm not like a nobody. Like I've done certain things creatively that are pretty damn cool, but you don't really know it's me behind it, because I don't put myself out there. I didn't put myself out there like that with this, so it's like, but I'm telling you, like the Ray Rivera thing is definitely one. Is everything that you've seen in any of the things I've worked on, whether it's telling time from the sun, whether it's being able to read pages and pages of call reports and just data with um the cell towers and stuff. I do that just I can really notice a pattern just by reading phone numbers, and just by reading the towers where they're at. And I just have it in my head, and I can tell where you are. I mean, I don't have that for the Ray Rivera documentary because they don't have that stuff, which is a whole other problem. But all those things that I do in every other case that I see the most feedback on because no one else does, I do that way more in the Ray documentary. I mean, I'm taking stuff back to like if you talk about like the missing car and all that stuff. I got the VIN number. I have the previous owners. I even have other things that show that these people are hiding information, and you can't deny it. There are things in that episode that no one saw, but I did. This is how I can tell you that it's really worth the wait. I put out a video about Ray Rivera in 2021 that was 15 minutes long, and it was what I did was I made, and this is when I first started editing videos, because it was garbage. I didn't even do a voiceover. I didn't do anything. It was just captions. It got 1,000 views, and I started getting messages from the people that were Ray's coworkers or their friends. And one of the people asked me, like, who was I? Pretty much his wording was he thought that I was part of a group of people doing the research and the work for this 15-minute video. He thought I was a group of people. He didn't think it was just me. So that just made me feel like, and I only put like a fraction of the information I have. And one of them told me, because they said something to me like, you're wrong about this, you're wrong about that, you're wrong about this, wrong about that. And I said this one sentence that I know that he knew that no one else knew. And he said, this is a direct quote: should I be afraid of what you're about to say? So it's just gonna take time. But it's but I can't, it's gotta be just perfect. There's no room for any kind of error, any kind of anything that I need to elaborate on. Everything has to be one. It's the most information dense project I've ever done. All my projects are information dense, but 3 hours of just straight information. Yes, and it's just me by myself. So I'll I can't really multitask like that. But sorry. I can't do this and like read text at the same time. I just slowed down the creator to 95 the other night. She speaks very fast. So, I mean, everybody has their own way of speaking. I just know that like I don't have the most like the best like flow as far as like a speaking voice and all that. But for me to make my point, I have to just stop and think. That's just what it is. Some people are good at that. Some people are just good at just saying a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't mean anything. But people do what works. And what works for me is our visual references. And right now I'm not giving you visual references. So this is like more the challenge, I'm still going through the comments. I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta get off of here in like 10 minutes. Yo, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate your insight. Always on this case. Another. So glad you're loving your trip. Yo, I really appreciate it. And yet, yes, I am. Like I couldn't travel for a very long time. So like being able to travel is definitely it's like I missed out on a lot. I missed out on a lot of friends' weddings and stuff like that just because I couldn't go. And that's what that hurt. And Dana Lynn, I just found you recently, Chris. You have a highly intuitive mind. Truly good. Thank you. And thank you for the super chat too. I really do appreciate it. Um, I'm glad you found me because I'm losing subscribers. Like this is the like this year I've netted negative 100 subscribers. I don't know what's going on, but people have told me that they're not subscribed to me anymore. People have told me that they have um don't get notifications when they sign up for notifications. Because if I put something up and you have your notifications on, I'm not gonna be up here to waste your time. And then to see that I don't get that people are just dropping off. I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm really glad you did find me. You could always fall back to hand size the way a deaf mute does. Maybe I can speak sign language. I learned at UPS um, in 2001. But that's funny though. Every once in a while, I'll run into a deaf person, and I just never really forgot. Well, I forgot some, but like I still understand a lot of sign language, even though I don't use it really. Ray Rivera did happen at the Belvedere. And I've been there too, maybe twice, but it was back when I was really, I don't know, like the times that I went there were definitely blackout moments, but I just, there's certain things I don't forget. And, um, the layout of that building doesn't look, he wasn't on the roof. Simple as that. I know it's called Mystery on the Rooftop. The boy wasn't on the roof. I used to be a commercial roofer. Nobody is going up on that back then on that roof in the condition it was in without a serious check that's already cleared because that roof was treacherous. It leaks all over the place. I saw photos for properties that were on sale or for rent that had signs of roof leaking 3 floors below the actual roof. And I can tell because I know the layout now. I know the layout of where the condos to the other areas, and I can tell where the roof is leaking by the patches on the roof at that time. No one's jumping off the roof running 11 miles an hour because no one's running on the roof in pitch black with obstacles in a soft rooftop. Not happening. There's a rapper named Andre 3000, and he said it's easier to run the street than to walk in the sand, which sounds clever, but he's talking about Isaac Newton's second law of motion, action and reaction. Like people run on a track because they get the traction and they get the bounce back because running is just lateral jumps. And I don't know how I'm not a physics person. I'm barely graduated high school with a 1.63 GPA. And I know a whole lot of people have Netflix subscriptions and watch that, and it's like, no, the physics doesn't add up. The environment doesn't add up. I'm not trying to go on too much onto the Ray Rivera stuff. We need things. Lauro is a shield for that's what they are. That's exactly what that is. It's so interesting how our minds work differently, or at all. A mile of my case, Chris, you're a rare bird. process is a gift, genius level. Um, I appreciate that. I don't know if I wouldn't call myself like a genius, but like I don't I don't even think I really do. No, I don't know what like really constitutes a genius though. So I'm not, but I appreciate what you're saying. I do. I just think too far into stuff when I hear stuff like that. I don't I don't know, because like people have asked me like what my IQ is if I had an IQ test. Like yeah, I've had an IQ test when I was like um I think like 13 or in like 10, and I don't know what it is or what it was. Like I was being tested for like ADHD, autism. So um that might help give you a little bit more insight of what's going on. Like I'm not like ashamed of that. It's just like how can I put it? Yeah, I don't think people really understand stuff like that, or they think they do because they know one person, but it's definitely different for everybody. Oh, YouTube. Okay, YouTube bad actors. You've got to subscribe to them, and I swear if I ever become one of those like YouTubers that is the focal point of this person here, I then that's the sign that I'm like I'm too far gone. But no, this person's doing God's work. I'm serious. And if you haven't been on, if you're not subscribed to them and you like to lurk on Reddit, they're doing God's work over on Reddit, especially on a certain creator. If you look at your phone, the number 4, those initials, those letters that are on the number 4 is their main person, their main target. Dirty bird bath. Thank you. I appreciate it. I wouldn't understand where your mind is leading me with the visuals. Thanks for them. It's a fun ride. Yeah. I I love sometimes like certain things that take like that you see for 10 to 15 seconds take me hours to do, but I feel that they're necessary. Not a Reddit user or X or Instagram, any of those apps. I mean, you don't have to be an active participant to have those accounts. Like I used to have X back when it was Twitter back in like 2012, but I deleted it when one of my coworkers thought it'd be a good idea to read my tweets at work in front of a whole bunch of people. And then I deleted it. Wasn't like I was embarrassed about it. It just wasn't appropriate for work. And I was like, man, let me just go ahead and delete this shit. But you don't have to be active on Reddit. I know a few people who have Reddit, but they don't participate. It's they use it no differently than YouTube. A lot of people have a Gmail account, and they have YouTube apps, They have YouTube Premium. They watch videos, but they're not uploading stuff. They may comment. Some of them people never even comment on a video. So um, they're free. And Reddit's good for like people who are really focused on a certain topic. Like there's a Dan Markel subreddit. Um, but Reddit's good. It's just that people talk about uh things with a certain level of like passion that it's kind of, I think it's kind of toxic. But it's still, Reddit is informative. Good. I don't know if I believe you, Miss Michelle, but good. I mean, number 4. I think ADHD is actually a superpower. Mm, yes, for me, maybe. But when I was in school, it was a liability. It was a liability. Like I don't know. Like I failed ninth grade. I failed if they didn't hold like that's a- they didn't hold me back in middle school. I was failing everything except gym class. I'm dead serious. Everything else was straight. Well, we didn't have A, B, C, D, E, A, B, C, D, F. We in middle school it was like 1 to 5, and like fives were Fs technically. And then in high school, I failed like every class. I failed ninth grade. I had to take all the classes over again just to be able to graduate in the 4 year span. Like I'm horrible at school, but it was definitely a liability. Definitely like none of my like my unique innate abilities really came into play from in my benefit in school. No, no, no. I'll tell you why. Okay, so Miriam asks, was Ray Rivera thrown from helicopter? Now, if you're not familiar with the Ray Rivera case, to put it in the most Reader's Digest um, story, it's like um, Ray Rivera, 32, um, moved from California to Baltimore, and on May 16th, 2006, he got a call from his job, which was owned by his friend, and he went to a place called the Belvedere Hotel, which is not a hotel per se. It was a hotel, but it's a bunch of condos and a couple like wedding venues. And so he went to this place, and then his body was found 8 days later in what they call a conference room, but it's just an empty space in this building on um on May 24th. And so they said that he jumped off the roof of this building and crashed through a lower roof. And there's a lot of different things on YouTube about it. This was covered in Unsolved Mysteries and back in 2020. So one of the theories is that ray was thrown from a helicopter to cause this hole in this lower roof area. Now, the reason why that's impossible is, first, if you don't know this, helicopters, all right, so you've heard of a jet engine, okay? So a jet engine, like a commercial jet, those engines basically take cool air in and through a turbine basically cause a small tornado to force air out to propel the aircraft forward. Okay. Now, on an airplane, if you've been in an airplane before, when those airplane starts up and that real high pitch noise when the jet starts, helicopters have those too, because helicopters have jet engines like airplanes do, but they don't use the RPMs, the revolutions per minute on the turbine to force air. They use it to connect it to a gearbox that turns from this to this, right? And the wings that you would see on an airplane that cause it to go up, those wings are the blades of a helicopter. And that's why they're called rotary wing aircraft. So when you hear that jet engine, then you add in the, you're not gonna be able to sleep with that hovering over you. And plus it will cause not just the noise, but the shape of the Belvedere. I'm gonna show you all real quick because that's how I feel. Give me 1 second. And I gotta go to sleep, but I have to show you this just because I know someone's gonna ask me again if they, and I just can't let this happen this way. So share screen, Earth. Okay. So all right. Okay. This is the Belvedere, right? So this is the building here. This space here, right there where the mouse is where the hole in the roof was from. This is the lower roof. This is the upper roof up here. Okay. Now, if you were to fly a helicopter over this area here, what would happen? So give me a second. Let me tilt this over. All right. Y'all see that, right? Okay. So if a helicopter were to fly over here, the force from the rotor blades of the air going down would go down here and come back up, and it would knock the helicopter out the sky. A good way to a demonstration of that is if you take a glass. So let me get out of this right here. All right, you take a glass, put your face over it, And imagine a birthday cake at the end of the glass. Okay. That wind that comes back and hits you in the face is the same type of vortex that would knock it in a helicopter out the sky over the Belvedere if it were positioned at that location above that building, where the lower roof is, but near the larger upper roof. That U shape is no different than when you were in elementary school and you saw like the leaves that would twist around in the corner of the school. It's just it's the same thing. It's just on a macro level. Hope that helps. Now, school isn't. So Chelsea says school just isn't for everyone. You sound like my friend barely graduated high school. He literally just drew on his test. I did that too. I remember when I took the SAT, I was sitting there and I'm like, I'm not getting any colleges. What am I doing here? I just walked out, just left. No, actually, I put like I started just guess at the Scantron, just putting random letters in. I was like, man, I'm just out of here. Like I don't even know why I'm even doing this. Like my parents know I ain't going. Like I'm just not good at school. I'm just not good at it. Unless you have a topic that I'm interested in, then I'll do way more work than you've ever seen because I'm interested in it. But if I'm not interested in what you're talking about, like nothing gets done. Too many YouTube lawyers insist direct evidence is required for Wendy's conviction, but most of these types of cases do win through circumstantial evidence. Yeah, I agree, and I think there's enough circumstantial evidence to get Wendy. I really think there's enough of it because if you look at all the information that they have of Wendy, of all they don't say it in the documents, but they'll have the list of buildings with all their camera footage. They got camera footage of from places that at first I thought were just to look at Sigfredo and Luis, for example. I thought that they had um they had every hotel in Tallahassee and their surveillance footage and their guest list. And I didn't think it was for anything other than Sigfredo and Luis being in town. But if you look at the dates for these places, they weren't dates that Sigfredo and Luis were in town. So who would they be looking for? If you listen to Wendy talk to Detective Isom and she gets on the phone and she calls her mom, Mom, how are you doing? Are you sitting down? Denny's been shot. What? And I don't think he'll make it. You don't hear Harvey, do you? Nope. You didn't hear Donna talking about, well, let me go get your dad. So you can talk to him. Nope. You don't hear Wendy saying, I need you guys to come up here and be with me. Nope. You only hear Wendy talking about Donna coming up to Tallahassee. Yep. So maybe the guest list for the days that Sigfrid and Luis weren't in Tallahassee, maybe because Harvey was there. That's circumstantial evidence. And another thing is that this case is being run by the feds. It's not being run by Jason Newland. It's made to look that way. But if you look at all the witnesses, that people that will potentially testify in court, there were 34 federal agents on Donna's case. 34. This is a state homicide. You have 34 federal agents, from surveillance to forensic accountants, all those things. Would you have that if it were just Sigfredo Luis? And then, no, this is a much bigger thing going on, and we just don't know all of it. I mean, I connected some dots with some people, and this is what I can find with just looking online and knowing where to look. Like, Wendy's been shaking hands with people who shake hands and send money to some people that you would be like, it's kind of weird. For example, Wendy, just after Dan dies, Wendy works for a federal appellate judge. That in itself provides a lot of protection, a lot of prestige for being a clerk for a federal judge. Afterwards, she goes and does that podcast at University of Miami. Now that isn't a whole lot of, there's no evidence with that, or nothing that you think that would help her, but what it does show for us is her state of mind. And her state of mind, when you hear her talking in a way that she doesn't think that it will get out to the bigger public, but it's like you get a glimpse of what the real Wendy's about. But after, say, 2017, there's an article where she talks about where her employer, the nonprofit people, where and it talks about the judge saying, "Oh, Wendy's not involved in anything like that." That's back in 2016, late 2016 or early 2017. She works for the nonprofit for helping the kids, for immigrant kids, something. However, the same year, the person that her direct employer, the one that was vouching for her, sends an email, a group email with like 4 other people, some names redacted, some not. One of those people forwards that email to Jeffrey, not Lacasse, the files. And he says, that's interesting. For what Wendy's boss is talking about. Later that year, I might have been later, but either way, there's a couple transactions that one of his companies sends to Jeffrey. You can't even say that on without being flagged. Sends 50 grand over to Jeffrey. That's weird. When you doing nonprofits helping immigrant kids supposedly to the United States, you got Jeffrey doing weird stuff. Then you have Wendy's employer sending him money. And Wendy doesn't even talk about, like, you don't see her on any dockets helping any kids. The only time you hear her talking about immigration, she's talking about immigration to that one country. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The country you can't talk about. She's doing immigration help for them. Same people Jeffrey does. That's not a conspiracy theory. This is fact. Like the stuff that, like, if you told me 5 years ago, a lot of the stuff, what the hell? That was weird. The catcher LED is locked. Unlock the front of the glasses to use the camera. What the hell? Sorry. All right. Anyway, all that weird stuff going on, that's going to delay any kind of investigation. My glasses were playing music. I didn't know what was going on. So, anyway, I wish I knew. But like all these different things that I read about, and I've read a lot of the files, and they're demonic, bro. They are demonic. And I would feel a type of way if my employer was sending them money. Like 50 grand is a year's salary. There's more transactions. And the thing is, throughout those files, it's really hard. Some of them have been copied over and over again. So if you can't just go and easily search things because they don't have the, I think it's called OCR, like optical character recognition, and for you to go and push like Control F on a document and find a certain thing, or even search for it because it searches for certain, if you search for certain words. Like I got lucky and found a huge spreadsheet and just found 2 more transactions of $100,000 from Wendy Adelson's employer over to Jeffrey. Weird. That's in 2017. In 2018, the person who was the mayor of Tallahassee when Dan Markell was shot is running for governor in 2018. He barely loses by 30,000 votes. Wendy's out there on the campaign trail with him. What is she doing? Like, who does that? Who goes and takes selfies with the guy running for president just because he might be the first black president in Florida? No one cares about that. No one cares about that. Even if he won, nobody be talking about him in February. You know why? Because in March of 2020, he was found at Miami Beach, passed out with 2 male talent with D rugs, like all over the place. They had stuff I never heard of. I was Googling stuff. I am drugs. I had to Google stuff. I didn't know what the fuck these boys was using. But he didn't get charged with that. But he did get charged in 2022 for campaign fund violations, which would have been the same time that Wendy was around him on the road. Not saying anything came of that because it didn't, because he beat that case. But that's stuff that the feds will go back and look into to see where they messed up, if they did mess up, and that will cause that delay. Oh, and the lawyer that helped him beat that case, her brother used until he jumped off of Charlie's case. So when Andrew Gillum, the guy that was running for governor and lost, when he was doing Skittles activity in Miami Beach, man married with children, he doesn't get arrested for that, possibly because he was under investigation by the feds and was arrested in 2022. And it probably took a long time between when the whole Skittles activity with the male talent. It probably took a long time because it was the pandemic in March of 2020. Everybody's stuck in the house. So he gets arrested in 2022 in July. Charlie Adelson was arrested April 22nd of 2022. And they have the same lawyer. Can't make that up. And if Andrew Gillum would have became the governor of Florida, he would have had the position to be able to appoint judges from being a lawyer to become a judge. And there's a man who is trying to be a lawyer, not trying to be a judge, in the same circuit as the one that's trying all these fools now for the Dan Markel case. So Stephen Everett, the brown-skinned black guy that's the judge now, it could have been someone else named Alan Abramovitz. And Alan Abramovitz was the ad litem attorney for kids in Florida at the time that Andrew Gillum ran for governor. And Wendy did some kind of project with him in 2011. He's the guy that could give you some insight on how to get full custody and stuff like that, right? Yeah. So he tries to be a judge the same time that Stephen Everett's trying to be a judge in the same circuit, and he doesn't get the job. But if Andrew Gillum won the election, he could have appointed Alan Abramovitz, and that may have kept Wendy out of jail. Would have kept Wendy out of jail. And during the first trial with Sigfredo and Katie, Wendy put Alan Abramovitz on her payroll for some other nonprofit for kids. She takes him off the payroll in January 2020. 1 month before Katie and Sigfredo won the trial, she put the ad litem attorney for the governor of Florida. She put that guy on her payroll, and then after the trial, took him off. Why is he on there? I don't know, but he works at the courthouse, which is next door to ABC Liquors, which takes lunch at 12 o'clock. And Wendy goes there at 12:30, and it's about 60 yards away from the courthouse, from ABC Liquors. And it makes you wonder why Wendy went to that liquor store. Maybe not because of the liquor there, but the person that worked next door that was on lunch that could have, who knows what was going on with them in 2014. But I do know she put them on the payroll in 2019. That's where the delay, in my opinion, went. I mean, what else would it be? I'm giving you all these connections off the top of my head. It's worse that I can show you. Like, I show you documents that document all that stuff. That's the delay. I don't think the feds can afford to mess up, because the feds don't like looking at being embarrassed. They don't. The feds don't like being embarrassed. And you know what's most embarrassing to the feds? The fact that Luis and Sigfredo were both pulled over one time each with suspended licenses, with guns and drugs in the car, and the police let them go. And they let them go because they were under investigation by the federal government, and they put a no interference on them. Otherwise, them niggas would have gone to jail immediately. But they let them go, and they're able to commit a homicide and drive back to Miami and no one knew anything until 2016. That's a fact. They were under investigation, the Latin Kings of Miami. And I know they say Sigfredo wasn't a Latin king. He was just Luis's friend. But in the FBI paperwork, they call him King Tuto. So, ¿qué tú crees estaba pensando ahí? What do you think was happening then? He's just calling King Tuto para nada? Hmm? I don't know. But I do know they were under investigation at the time when Dave Markel was killed. They were under investigation from January 2014, I think, to January 2016. Luis already copped out to his case in 2016 for something that was. Hold up, time out. Do you all know? Let me ask y'all this, and don't Google this either. What was Luis Rivera convicted of? Because they keep saying unrelated crime, but I told you how related it is because it happened. They killed Dave Markel when they were under investigation. So straight off the, and don't Google this. What's Luis Rivera in jail for? Leslie, stop. You have the federal indictment, but and you, all right, you have the federal indictment. But this is how I know that y'all don't know. Because I'm gonna let Leslie tell us. And Leslie, you better not do nothing weird because I'm gonna know. What did he go to jail for, prison for 12 years? There you go. All right, but as far as, was it a RICO? Maybe. Shooting a gas car. Oh, wow. All right. He got 19 years. He got 12 and he got 7 for the homicide. So it's 19 altogether. All right. All right, I'll tell y'all. Then I really gotta go. Luis Rivera was picked up on a RICO charge. And Luis Rivera, he had all the things that you probably wouldn't want in a RICO case. Is this man's been working the same job for 15 years. He's got kids. He's got a normal job. It doesn't make sense. And he's in the paperwork, he's identifying surveillance. He really busted up when they were under surveillance. He saw their surveillance and stopped things from happening. That boy couldn't read, but he can read people and read situations better than a whole lot of people I know. That is one scary man. But this is what this man did. In 2015, and this may be because of him realizing that they were under investigation, is he stopped doing gangster wild stuff. The home invasion type of gangster stuff. And robberies, robbing drug dealers and stuff like that. He switched up. Now, what he started doing was he was middlemaning regular pharmaceutical, like prescription drugs, like Abilify, antidepressants, not controlled medication, controlled substances, but regular, not over the counter, but things like Abilify was one of them. And what he was doing was he would he had a source and he would resell these thousands and thousands of antidepressant pills to pharmacies. And he was making a lot of money. Like each run was making him 25, 30K. And for someone like him, he was, as they call it, feeding the wolves. So he's the top guy in the North Miami set of the Latin Kings. And all the like the guys that aren't doing the gangster wild stuff anymore, he's helping them survive by, not paying them in a way that they don't have to do that stuff for the time being. He had a business called Kalenko Enterprise where he was running the money through there. This is an illiterate man y'all talking about. It's a dummy that some of y'all say. He was doing that. And someone ratted on him and they set him up. He was even doing counter surveillance on the meetings there. And he agreed for them to pay him. They tried to pay him on consignment and he didn't want to do it. But it was like the money was too good and that's how they get you. They offer you so much money, you're like, man, I can't. And then, but the feds give you so much money, you can't say no. And they ran it through his business, Kalenko Enterprises. It was like Kalenko. It was spelled like a Ukrainian name. He had rented office space for this business as well. So how dumb is this man? So they had an informant, a confidential source. They had an undercover act as like, I forgot who it was, but yeah, they had all that. They got him good. And they kept that, and the feds kept that in their back pocket. So when they had a flimsy case on them, they used those transactions as a superseding indictment. And that got him 12 years. Crazy, right? I'm gonna show you something. Give me one quick second. I'm gonna show you all. It's one of these. Well, And it's in here. I just spelled that wrong. I have the name wrong somewhere. Hold up. I'll just get the actual paperwork. I just gotta find it real quick. Hold on. I have so many documents on this computer. Um, Damn, I can't find this shit. I wanted to at least give a reference. I know I'm spelling the name of that business wrong. There's some kind of it sounds like a Ukrainian name like Karenko or something like that. ENKL. It starts with a K. Fuck, I can't find that shit. Killer. Karenko. It's like Kalenko or Karenko or something like that. And it starts with a K. I think it starts with a K. I gotta sleep. I can't find that shit. Oh, this is pissing me off. Okay. Anyway, I can't find that shit. Um, but yeah, he had. Maybe I'm just putting his name in wrong. No, go. I don't. I just know it ends in ENKO. It's something like that. So, and, so, all right, let's just dump that topic right now. Um, Let me catch up on the comments, and I need to get up out of here. Too bumbling. It has made a long trip up and back. Unfortunately, it didn't screw up the important work. I bet Wendy wasn't thrilled about Dan being alive overnight. You know what? All right. That's the one thing saying like they're bumbling idiots. No, those boys are good at what they do. I mean, if you think about it, that man Sigfredo was drunk on Yola and was able to shoot someone twice in their face, one between the eyes, and shoot him through a window twice and leave one hole in the window. Yo, there's a lizard on the wall. He just ran away. Oh, shit. There's a lizard like that big. Just went right up the wall. Okay. But yeah, these boys are serious. They are like that. I was like, oh, do I know this Audrey? She's I don't know. I don't know what y'all referencing. The pill mills of Brown County, other areas. A lot of people don't know about that. Florida was like literally the last state to track prescriptions for controlled medication. So people would drive far and wide and go to these pain clinics and get all these oxys and all that stuff. And so they can turn around and drive back to their respective state and sell it on the street. Everyone was doing it. Everybody. And when that shit got shut down, that's when the weird stuff started coming out. And people started really dying because they were hooked on this stuff they were getting for 50 cents. And then, then they get strung out on something else. I mean, that was a time back then. So as True Crime Wifey said, the pill mill, this is around the time when that stuff was ending. So, but they still just weren't fully caught up with that system. And so like he basically was doing this on a very large scale. He was selling stolen drugs to pharmacies and they were buying them from him. Yes, they were. He had a whole business, LLC in his name with someone else. It was like called Katinko, something that sounded like a Ukrainian name. It sounded the ENKO is something like that. And it's killing me to not know this off the top of my head. And oh man, I'm so mad. I can't find that page. But yeah, that's what he was doing. So you call them bumbling idiots, but it's 12 years past and none of y'all know what he was locked up for. Not saying like that's something. Luis is a gangster's gangster. I hate to say it. It's just that he's involved in activities, and that's the only thing I don't like. Now, telehealth, Suboxone clinics are the new pill mills. So much corruption. Yo, it's a joke. I mean, let me find your comments and put this up on the screen. I can't. And thanks for the super chat, Dirty Bird Bath. That was I can't find your comment to highlight it, or maybe I'm just doing this wrong. Oh, yes. You sent me to y'all. You don't have to do that. I appreciate it, but you really. Thank you. Have you thought about contacting Becca Day? She get on that. You guys could work there. I don't know who that is. But your other comment, telehealth, Suboxone clinics, and the new pill mills, it's really corrupt. It's corrupt on a type of level that just like, man, it'll never be regular. Because like my mom worked in pharmaceuticals, and let me tell you, so back in the day, she all right, let me think all right, okay. So my mom worked in pharma, and back on I think I was in elementary school, but I'm a like a real, if I'm interested in something, I will learn everything there is to know about it. And my mom used to when she started working in pharma, she would give me the literature, the drug literature, to help her study it by having me learn it and explaining it to her so she can convey it to doctors. I know it sounds crazy for an 11-year-old to do that, but I have a knack for being able to explain complex things to people at their frequency if I'm interested in the topic. So there was all these different there was like a skin cancer medication, there was a kidney one, there was one for like what are those things called? It's like polyps in your colon. It was a group of drugs that this one company had, and so I will help her with those. And later on, there was a drug that was for pain management. That's what they called it. It was called Avanza, and Avanza had something special about its pharmacology. And pharmacology is like how a drug interacts with your body. So how long it stays in your system and how it interacts with other drugs in your system if you take other drugs. And it had a coding in which if the pill was broken, the active ingredient didn't work. So it was a opiate, it was an opioid, but to prevent people from abusing it, it had something on it to render it useless. And also it had something else that would prevent the euphoria that comes with opioid use. That drug went down the tubes because back then, the company that developed OxyContin blew up, and it just so happens around the time when the 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 Afghan war happened, and Afghanistan is the country with the most amount of natural poppy plants growing naturally in the world is in Afghanistan. So that timing is interesting. The drug that my mom's company sold tanked. There was another drug. It was for erectile dysfunction, and it was called Edex. And this is back when if you couldn't, if you couldn't swing a bat and you were just like, what? You had to deal with it in some pretty vicious ways. You might have to get surgery. Some dudes were implanting pumps to be able to do what because if you don't have anything, blood pumping there, you lose like an inch a year. That's for real. So like that time is gonna might end up with the micro. Think about it. Like if you're like an Olympian and you go 4 years without and you can't do what you do, you could be a quarter-inch killer by the time the next Olympics. So they dudes were doing that stuff. But Edex was like the new thing, and it was a needle. You had to do it yourself. It was a do it yourself. But it was the one that was the least invasive, and it blew up until a drug called Viagra pulled up. And before it blew up, I heard about it from my mom. Is the company that she was a rep, she was a manager for the company that had the Edex. And since her company was really good at selling Edex, Pfizer, people that developed Viagra, bought her company. And it was way up from there. And it's funny, like she told me about she's like, there's a drug that's better than mine. But she wasn't telling me like, oh, they're gonna buy the company. She's like, you better not take this drug because it'll kill you. And I wasn't even like, that was even like, why are you? He's like, if you take it, you'll end up in a hospital. It'll make your thing blow up or whatever. And I mean, it can do some damage to you, like permanent damage if you abuse it. But at the time, I was a teenager. Like I wasn't using that stuff. Like I couldn't wear sweatpants to school. Like I was at that age. Like what are you talking about? But anyway, but yeah, the corruption's crazy. And so when that drug came out, like it put on a type of a success that you don't really see. The type of I mean the type of things that like pharma companies do it's so dirty. It's so foul how they do people, making them pay so much money for to something, you know, like it's a mess. And the whole thing with the like pain meds and stuff, it's a mess. But Luis Rivera your illiterate Puerto Rican Latin Kings Inca was in on that, and none of y'all knew about it until today. That boy's something else. Simple as that. Tertullian girl says Sir Tertullian Point Lewis is highly intelligent. He just wasn't educated in traditional sense. He is someone may consider anti-hero. He kind of is. And I think that Luis is one of those people that's like, you in crime you don't see very often, where he is what he is, but if you're with him, he's got you. Like, you don't meet people like that, and he's able to lead a bunch of violent people, but he makes sure he doesn't get involved in doing things to civilians. And this was the time that he did it. And so when I hear about him sending the Markels a letter, think about it. The first thing he does when he can read and write is send them an apology letter. Yeah, there may be some underlying reasons for him to do that, but what he did is probably what he wanted to do, is just say like, look, I am that guy, but this was, and I understand it, because I understand, like, when I watched this proffer, the anger that he had for Sigfredo, because he only did his participation with Sigfredo was only because he knew Sigfredo would get caught up immediately. And it's a shame. Like, he's like, I think like Luis is he just doesn't, I don't think, because he is who he is, he's not going to give you a whole lot of colorful language to explain what he's done in life. But I'm telling you, that boy is smart. The most dangerous Puerto Rican men are short and chubby. This is, studies show that. I'm just letting you know. You can take that however you want. But short, chubby Puerto Rican dudes, that's just, it's what it is, bro. I feel like Luis was reluctant. Yeah, he didn't want to do it. He knew what he was doing was like so out of bounds. It wasn't about the money for him. What it was about was getting Sigfredo out of Tallahassee without getting arrested. And the only person that knew how to do that was Luis. Luis's counter surveillance game is fucking crazy. If you're about to go hit someone up, a drug dealer, and the feds have your phone tapped, and you go and you take them on a scenic route to wait for them to pull up and be like, nope, see, that's them. And it says in the paperwork, Luis spotted the surveillance. This is the FBI. These are the people that are like the top notch in law enforcement. And you got a little bueno over there, like, there they are. I'm telling you. No joke. Do I think Ruth will meet with them? I don't think so. I don't think there's a it would, I don't think it would do anything. I don't think it would make Ruth feel any better about anything to meet Luis. Because if he gets out, when he gets out, if Ruth's still around and wants to do that, like, what does she get out of that? Like, what can he really say to her that will really resonate with her? Well, I usually don't do it to people like your son, but I did. Like, what can he say? Why do I really think he flipped? I think he flipped because he was misled into the details of what's going on with this job. That's what I think. And it's obvious, and to me in his proffer, I might even do a live stream where I go over his proffer and translate everything he's saying. Sigfredo violated several rules, several, and like getting pulled over, not saying anything, seeing Wendy on the street and not offering up the information until you're asked about it, stuff like that. You get you beat up immediately. And the fact that I know that Luis is in the right is because Sigfredo did not say anything back to him. It's things like that that let me know, like, oh, Sigfredo was doing this for all kinds of crazy reasons, and I think that Luis just didn't want to see him driving to Tallahassee to get caught up down the street from the hit. He wanted to get him out of there, and that's a real friend. If you got a friend if your friend's about to do something stupid, and you don't want them to do it, but you know that if they do it, they're gonna get caught up. But if you go and help them, the chances of them getting out of that in one piece are good, and you do it. Not many people will do that. It's kind of like if you get in if your friend's about to go put it on a lighter note, go and fight someone who can beat their ass, and they have a bunch of people who can easily beat their ass, and when they go and try to fight someone, you go and help them out, and you get your ass beat. That's a real friend. And if they go ahead and beat your ass after that, because they have every right to. And I feel like after they did that hit, Luis, he said I think he told him, like, yeah, you're a dumbass. I think that was like the first words. Like, you are because it shows in the surveillance that, like, after the hit, like after and they got on the Thomasville Road, that Sigfredo, like, Luis is just driving, and Sigfredo is just like amped up. He's all mad and pissed off. Probably because Luis is telling him how dumb he is. It happens. Stuff like I can't tell you any like stories of like playing violence, but I can tell you, like, your friend do something stupid and you help them out, then you tell them how dumb they are afterwards. And I think as soon as they got on the road, he was like, you see, what's going on over there? Why is she up here? And she knows we're up here, so why is she up here? He flipped because he was not given the information that he was given to make an educated decision on whether or not he should go through with this mission. That's a lot of things. That's what a lot of people end up snitching because they weren't given the whole list of terms and conditions. And that's important for all missions, in a sense. You should know if someone brings something up to you that you should, like, so who is this person? Or what is this for? Or how much are we getting paid? Or, I mean, there's a lot of people that end up destroyed just because they weren't honest and upfront. And and I think part of that, it has to do with Wendy's participation because Wendy wasn't supposed to be there. And Luis did see her there. And I don't care what the fuck y'all say because Luis picked her out of a fucking lineup. After Luis said that he saw her, they got a lineup and put Wendy in there. And guess what? He said that's her. So, what? Oh, she wasn't there. Yeah, she was there. So she was there on Thursday. She's not going to be on there on Friday. Like sometimes, like I'm not trying to go off on a tangent, but sometimes like things that some people don't really understand how they work, how certain things take place. It's understandable because you're not it's perfect that you don't know what these people are up to, or you don't know how these things work because you shouldn't. But it's wild how one of the things is like how some of y'all put so much power in the Adelson's hands as far as the logistics of this mission, and it's not how it goes because the Adelsons have no power, especially like the the car that Jeff Lacasse had, the first rental car looked just like it. Maybe Wendy told them to get Jeff Lacasse's car. I've had instances where I've discussed this case with people and they'll say something like that, but they think it's crazy that Wendy and Sigfredo were in contact with each other. So if it's impossible for Wendy to actually communicate with Sigfredo, but it's possible for Wendy to communicate to Sigfredo what rental car to get. But I'll tell you what, Sigfredo is not getting that rental car. He's not doing that. The customer can't tell you how to do the job. That's his job is to eliminate someone. Your job is to pay him. You can't say, "Oh, get this car because I wanna frame this guy I used to date." I just did yoga with him last week, but yeah. Get a silver car with a 4-door, kind of small. Get a car you can barely fit into as a driver. Come on, yo. No. No one's gonna. He could probably say, "Okay, I'll do it," and then not. He's not listening. He doesn't have to listen to her. That's what I'm trying to say. But yo, I'm gonna get a couple more questions and I gotta go because I gotta be up in like it's almost 5 a.m. here. It's crazy. I think Audrey. Who's Audrey? If Luis had been born in different circumstances, I think he could have been an impressive person. I hope he gets a chance to live up to it, at least some of his potential. I think you'll have that chance. It just might not be in a way that you would assume, you know? Like he's not like impressive. It can I think he can. It's just not it's probably gonna be in a way that we'll never even consider because that the means in which he'll be able to do that probably doesn't exist yet. That's what I think. Like I'm nowhere near the type of person that Luis is, but like if you said in like the early 2000s that I wouldn't get like all my like if you said like say 20 years ago, like YouTube first existed in on Valentine's Day of 2005, say like 2006, say 20 years ago. In that time, I don't go to college. I do I make wild decisions. Um, and but 20 years later, you're gonna be sitting on your laptop in Sardinia, talking to complete strangers, to 121 complete strangers, about the things you learned from your dumb decisions, and you're giving insight into other people's dumb decisions in a way that people who went to school to understand how people make those dumb decisions. Come on, yo, like that's just wild. That's wild. They, what I'm saying is like Luis probably the format in which he'll become impressive probably doesn't exist yet. We all do. I'm telling you, if I'll do something crazy if once I never in my am like really thought like I want someone to go to jail. You know, I never thought like I want someone to go to jail really bad, but I do want Wendy Olsen to get locked up. She's been living way too comfortable. Well, I mean, have you seen a recent picture of Wendy Jo Estrada? Yeah, she's. We don't have to worry about her wearing the same dress to any trial coming up soon. I'm just gonna put it like that. There's no. She's not wearing the same thing. Oh man, let me get through these, and then I'm gonna go to sleep because I gotta wake up and eat pizza. I had some pizza today. It was so fucking good. It was so good. They don't even cut the pizza. You get the pizza and you have to, and the thing is here, you take it home and cut it with scissors. Yep. I got a pizza with like I don't know what was on. I think I pepperoni, but pepperoni here means hot peppers, not pepperoni like the meat. So it's like salami and like prosciutto, and it was a bunch of other shit. And it had like these hot peppers that grow here, and bell peppers and black olives, and it was €8, and it was like the size of between a medium and large pizza in America, and it was €8, and a euro is $1.14 with calamari. It was less than €20 with a drink. Like literally, like four of us ate for like $70. The food is good. It's so good. It doesn't even make sense. Last time I was here, I ate more than I've probably ever eaten in a month. And I lost a considerable amount of weight because the food is just healthy. Like like you can eat calamari and pizza and drink Fanta and feel like you ate like the most healthy organic thing you can find at Trader Joe's. The food here is unmatched. It's and their like relationship with food is different. Like people don't eat in their cars. You don't see people go through the McDrive, they take it home or they take it to the beach. Like we were at the beach today and people, as it was getting dark, were bringing cooked food, like families, like mom, dad, kids, and their dog to the beach. And they put out chairs on a little table and eat dinner together on the beach. They don't, they eat, everyone eats together. They don't do the autonomous stuff. Like you could be single and eat by yourself, but like going out and sitting down with someone and having a meal is more important than a lot of other things. So if you go and get dinner and it costs $18 and it's because it's just they just have a different mindset with this stuff. It's not there's no 6 syllable words on any ingredients. It's crazy. And there's more people here that are over 100 years old than a lot of other places in the world. It's amazing. I love this place. And people don't how can I put it? Like they have real estate here, but it's not like there are no like McMansions. These houses aren't made of wood. They're made out of whatever it takes to keep a house up forever. And people don't move. Like you get married, then you move out, then you go and you buy a house. That shit. I'm not gonna say it's like affordable. Like you would not get like all this and all you know, like and I'm outside in the backyard. You wouldn't get that shit in America. And the beach is right there. I mean right there. You don't get that. Like I would live here in a heartbeat. I'm just saying. I know I went off, but it's literally like 85 degrees and it's 5 in the morning. This place is amazing. It's so funny. You go to a restaurant and they'll be have they'll play all these songs that have all these curse words in it. It'll be like Cardi B. And it'll be families like eating dinner, but they don't understand the lyrics. But they'll play like wet ass pussy at a restaurant with kids, and everyone's just chilling because they don't understand the lyrics. But I mean, it's this place isn't like tainted with like consumerism and BS. It's just people are just going to work and eating dinner, and it's it's I love it here. Let me get through a couple comments. I'm gonna be out of here. Uh, please read the comments. I don't know what's being said because I'm driving. This Synesthesia is a perceptual phenomenon where the stimulation of one sense automatically and involuntary triggers an experience in another sense. For example, synesthete, oh man, I know I butchered that, might see a specific color when hearing a musical note or taste a distinct flavor when reading a certain word. Shit, you got me. Yep, jig is up. Um, Drink Fanta. Listen, I've been going through Fanta at an alarming rate. They have this chocolate here. It's so good. It's only like $1. I mean, 1.5 euros. I don't know how to say it. They say cents here. It's so good. It's better than like Godiva chocolate or any expensive chocolate you get in the United States. This shit is on the shelf like you would see in the grocery checkout. This like Hershey's is same size, almost the same size as a Hershey bar. It's amazing. I have two a day. I have two a day. No, like I can't stop eating it. It's so fucking good. I'm gonna send a box back. It's so good. Because I can't stop talking about it. So Leslie, you might get one in the mail. It might be on ice or something or dry ice so it doesn't melt. But it's amazing. It's amazing. Like food I don't even like is so good. I hate tuna. I love seafood. I hate tuna. I came here last year. I'm eating tuna. It doesn't make sense. It's they just have I just got so much. Drink more liquor. You know what? No, not here. They don't drink tequila up here. There's no tequila. There's no good tequila here. It's always some cheap garbage. Yo, when we got pizza, the man said it's gonna take a little while. You want a drink? We ordered four pizzas, calamari, all that stuff. He offered my brother-in-law a beer. I got like a shot of tequila. I'm like, and he's sitting there talking. I'm like, this is unreal. This does not happen in the United States. They would not sit there and talk to you and have small talk and actually like just being normal with you. That would never happen. It was a shock. But the liquor is not really a thing. The wine here, I don't drink wine, but every wine I've had here, well, in Italy, I say more so in Sardinia because they have like a certain type of wine, they have a certain type of bread, they have certain pasta here, but like every house wine, the shit with no label, it's got a little bottle, it's been in someone's basement, and it's good as fuck. And I don't like wine at all, but here it's like it's so good. It's really, really, really good. And I eat that shit. Italian chocolate is fabulous. Yeah, yo, they got some weird shit too. They have some weird shit. They eat. There's a cheese that's illegal here. That's literally made with fermented maggots. I'm gonna I'm gonna let that ferment for a second. It's really literally made with maggots, and it's illegal because that's what it's made with. But everyone loves it here, and there's some in the fridge here. And my sister-in-law showed me, and they were like they were in there. and it was given to her husband as a present. A present. Sheep's milk and maggot cheese. And they like it here. It's so good, it's illegal for them. There's, I'm telling you, like, I'm so glad I'm able to because I couldn't for so long. So like me talking about it like I'm a little kid. I know might sound wild, but like I know a lot about the world, but I never been anywhere because I couldn't go anywhere. But then I was like, I'm eating wine. I'm drinking wine. I'm eating tuna. Yo, this man's father literally was like, "Oh, you want some octopus? Some, we call it, oh, in Spanish it's pulpo." And he speaks um like one of the other languages in Spain called Catalan. He literally just went on the boat and just went and grabbed one of them shits. It's crazy. There's this there's this cactus that's really popular in Mexico, and it's really good. It's called nopales, and it's so I don't know if y'all heard of it, but it's a prevalent staple food in Mexico, and it's so prevalent. It's actually on their flag. Like they have a golden eagle on their flag, and it's holding nopales. I was like, y'all, you grow nopales. They're literally out there, just like. And I was like, y'all, y'all grow nopales? He didn't know what they were. That's how much like food is prevalent. I'm like, yo, you know, like people buy this at the grocery store and eat it. It's just it just grows there. It's crazy. Like I wanted to post some stuff on here of some things that I'm seeing, but I'd rather just keep that on like Instagram or whatever. Like I only like to post like videos that they're, about topics that y'all really care about because I don't want to post like stuff and get just I know what y'all want to see. Yeah, exactly. These things grow tall as hold up. There's a lime tree in the back right here. That's those are limes. And they're not even managing this shit. It's full of limes. I got these meta glasses for my birthday a couple months ago, and I just started using all they're dope. But I like more so taking photos with my phone so I can see what I'm looking at. But like I mean I can see what I'm looking at with glasses on, but they don't, you know what I mean. I mean this stuff is it's just so much different shit that's healthy as hell. Like I swear, if I lived here a year, I'd be six pack Shakur in no time. Like I'm chubby right now, but if I lived here a year, I'd be a serious threat. Seriously. Yeah, they are meta glasses, and they're the kind that turn into sun. They have the transitions lenses, so as soon as the sun comes out, they turn to sunglasses. Uh, no, I'll show you. I'll show you where I am. Um, Give me a second. I got the map up for y'all. I really gotta go to sleep. I'm just like so excited to tell y'all these things. It's I mean, I like talking about Markel and Adelson's, but like this is wild. Um, okay, okay, you'll see that. Like I want to do like exactly like put the pin down where I am, but people are weird on the internet. So so I'm in. All right, so that's Italy, the mainland. That's Sicily, and this is Sardinia, and I'm down here. So where is the military base? So there's a military base over here. Oh, I know where this is. So last year I was over here, and I'm telling you, the water is so fucking blue, yo. I had brought my GoPro. I had my GoPro this year, but I brought my GoPro, and we got a boat, and the boat was like it was like a chalupa boat. It was little, it could hold like 10 people. It wasn't a nice boat like a yacht or nothing like that. Like this is a regular fisher boat, and it's a dude and his son. They would just take you out or tour around certain parts of the island, and the water, the I think the salt, the water is so salient. You literally don't have to even like tread water, and the water's clear as an open window. I'm dead serious. And we went on this boat. We went around and we were just sitting in the water. In the water, you don't even have to, man. And the fish just be around. And there are parts of like people would get off the boats and swim to like certain parts of the island, like caves and shit. The shit looks like it's a legit like is it like the shit you see on Instagram? It's like that, like oh shit, this is what the people, like it's almost like you would, if I showed you a picture, you would think of like an Instagram influencer, like, so we went over here and then we had the breakfast. It was so good. We had, oh my God, we had the cavatappi with the sauce. And then after that, we went on a boat and you know what I'm talking about. Like you would expect that. It's next level. And there's a lot of stray cats here. That's another thing. And I promised I wouldn't go overboard with feeding the cats like I did last year because I ruined a couple nights with me trying to save these cats. There was a cat last year that was we were going to this restaurant. It was a bar. This is a bar here that's like it's called like Relax. And they play all hip hop. They were playing Tupac and shit. No one understands anything and any of this music, but they just playing Tupac and Biggie. And right down the street, I hear meow. I hear this cat meowing. I'm looking around for the cat. The cat's stuck in the brakes of an Audi. And I'm like, oh no. I gotta get this cat out of here. I have a video of it. It's in my iCloud, but like, I'll show y'all next time. But they're like, no, Chris, don't. I spent 3 hours I got that cat out that. I got up under that car and got that cat out of there. And I don't care if I ruin the night. Because he was stuck and he was crying. So I was proud of myself. Stay away from the birds. Yeah, I'm not bothered by the birds. I just really legit just saw a lizard on the wall. Oh my God, Grish is talking Dinosaur code. I don't talk Dinosaur code because Dinosaur code is code. I'm a real one. We don't have to talk in code. You know what I'm talking about without me even having to talk. Only people like her use code. And yes, stray cats in many countries like Turkey and stuff like that, but not so much in the US, but like over here, they're deep. Like I bought a can of cat food to get I bought some cans of cat food to get the one cat out of the wheel. And I had a couple extra cans and we were walking on this long strip because we were out so late. There are no like Ubers or nothing like that around. And I cracked one of the cans and walked down, and the cats just came out like 30 deep following me. And my girl was so pissed off because she knows like I'm bringing them inside if I can, but we kind of got into it about that. It's like, don't bring them in here. I just put like, I got a plate. I took like, I think we had 3 cans of food. I just put it on the plate and just left it there because there's no way it was going to pop off like that. Like having like all these cats come back to where we were staying. But I have a soft spot for animals, and I haven't seen any stray cats yet, but I know I will tomorrow. Oh, thank you. I've met another cat, and you know what? It's not actually not here. It was in this place called Cayazzo. Last year they had a bunch of stray cats, and this should have been a sign. I tried to give one of those cats. They came up to me. I tried to give it a pepperoni. It looked at me like, it's like, hold up, bro. Half your ears gone and your eyes busted out, and you won't eat a pepperoni? That should tell you they're getting fed for real. And here I am trying to help them, finding out that each of these places that I went, they're collecting money in their tip jar. They don't take tips. They take tips to give to the vet to feed and help the stray cats. These cats ain't even trying to eat the pepperoni. They're like, no, we don't do that over here. We eat fish over here, the good kind. Don't give me no cheese, no pepperoni, none of that. I should have known right then and there. Those cats in Cayazzo was different. But thank you so. You don't have to, I appreciate all the support I get. It's kind of sometimes it's like overwhelming because I feel like y'all. I mean, I definitely appreciate it. I don't even know what to say. Like it's like y'all really looking out for me. I'm gonna like maybe a couple days I'll show y'all some of the stuff that like the food wise. I'm like, shit. Because you can't tell someone how something good something is about. But like, listen, the chocolate here is out of control. It's so good. But I need to go to sleep because I know their alarm's about to go off in 10 minutes. Here it's 5:21 a.m. If I'm still out here. I'm not gonna hear the end of it. So I'll let y'all, and I'll be on in a couple more days. And this was a good stream, and I'm gonna get yeah, I'm gonna be here for a little minute. We're we're gonna be here, and we're going to Sicily on I think Saturday, and then we come back here. They got something going on here for um it's kind of like a spring break, but my brother-in-law's in the military here. He's in the Italian army, and so they have something going on in Sicily, and so we're gonna go. So I need to practice my Italian because it's rough. Buonanotte. Well, actually, it's buongiorno right now over here. So I will talk to y'all soon, and y'all be safe. And hopefully, I'll get back inside and no one will hear me. And I'll be good, and I won't get yelled at for being up all night doing this shit. So I love y'all, and y'all be safe. And I'll upload some pictures on, you know, everything. Oh, let me just do this real quick. That's my Instagram. So I'll post stuff over there. And if y'all care to go look, take a gander, 'cause I don't want to inundate y'all with pictures of food on YouTube. So let me go get some sleep because I'm tired as hell. And I will talk to y'all maybe in a day or two. And I think I want to do the Luis Proper thing because there's some gems in there I didn't even bring up. There's a lot of good stuff. But I love y'all. Y'all be safe, and I'll talk to y'all soon. I need to get sleep. All right.